Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Gears of War 2, and this is my insane difficulty guide and walkthrough. We're currently on Act 5-3. It is entitled Free Parking. So this is quite a long chapter, and a bit of a difficult one too. It does benefit you to come to this particular chapter with as much ammunition as you can, because for some reason they just don't give you too much ammunition on this stage. They do give you a long shot over here, so if you are starting this from scratch, as it were, there is a long shot, but you definitely want to conserve as much as possible, even though this part definitely is easier with the sniper rifle. Just, try to conserve, and if you have to, just go back to the previous chapter. I had to do it a couple times. One of the times was because I accidentally restarted the chapter rather than the checkpoint, and that hasn't happened too much in the walkthrough, but when it does happen, it's very anger-inducing. But this doesn't seem like the best position over here, and it's probably not the best position, but I find that you can protect yourself well enough over here with the crouching mechanic if anybody flanks you over to the left. So what this is just there's two snipers up on that balcony of the archives. We're going to be going into the archives after this fight. On either side of the area over here, there's a door. See the door that I was just aiming at? Once you kill a certain amount of them, like nearly all of them, you're going to have a scorcher coming out of each of the doors that I was just pointing at, and also on his heels, a couple of more grubs too, like two grubs and one scorcher comes out of each of the doors. So you'll need to quickly prioritize the scorchers because they will rush you. Even though their rush is just a walking up to you, but you know what I mean, they will push you out of cover and cause you problems. They have a lot of HP, and it can be difficult because while you're focusing on one, the other one can be gaining on you, and Dom will try his best to help out, but he often will get put down. So you'll have not only the other Scorcher to worry about, but Dom to pick up, and that's another worry. So the door should open at about this point, I would think. It looks like we have another sniper up there. Remember, there's two snipers up there, and at the very beginning, nobody knows that you're here, so you can get a free kill if you are accurate enough. But here they come. See that door? There might only just be one grub and a scorcher, but hitting their tank is often pretty difficult from the side. So sometimes what I do, rather than using the sniper rifle, is I'll just settle for the Lancer, or hell, even just the snub, and it seems to work out even better sometimes. But the thing about the ammunition here, there are some Lancers, and it's better to have a Lancer coming up on these next parts, unless you're going for headshots, because remember, the Lancer, you can't get headshots with the Lancer because it doesn't have a narrow enough reticle. That's why the hammer burst can be good for that if you do need that. But you are going to get a checkpoint once everybody's dead, so you're going to get a checkpoint immediately when everybody's dead, and then you have a choice of which door you want to go, the left or the right. It's not an official cutscene where they have you select what door you want to go into, but I will show you both paths into the archives. I would say that the left path is easier. You might have harder times on the left path. It's just up to the player, I guess, but it does seem a little bit more awkward on the right path for some reason. I don't know. I just have harder times clearing the right side more. But there's some grenades up here as well as some ammunition, so you do want to pick that up. And then you're not going to get a checkpoint until the next part is completely cleared, which that also includes a grinder at the end. So when you come in here, no matter what side you pick, there's going to be a Scorcher and a Grenadier. So you need to be careful because they're both deadly enemies. And then when you push forward, you're going to be fighting more of the same, just drones and grenadiers, and then there's going to be a Cantus on the stairs, so you'll need to prioritize him as much as possible because, of course, he's got tickers in it. It's hard to evade the tickers over here because there's so much shit in the way. So you'll want to watch out for that. And he could spawn the tickers from behind you too, so you need to be really careful. He does that scream where he raises his arms. If you're close by that, if you're nearby him when he does that, it will stagger you and knock you over. You don't get dealt damage, and you obviously don't die, but even on insane. But it does knock you over, and it's a pretty prolonged state of stun. But going into the other side, I just wanted to show it both because it's the same enemies, but it's a different set of circumstances. Feel free to use all of your grenades over here because there's a plentiful amount of them to pick up. So you'll want to when you do clear this. See what I mean? These guys spawn right behind me. But when you clear everybody, including the grinder, you'll want to loot as much as you can, and then definitely take the long shot and just max out everything that you can. Definitely take 4 grenades. Definitely do that. And you can also, if you want to, even though I don't do it because I feel it slows me down. Here's the Y prompt. You'll get this on each side. This is indicating that the door is getting kicked open, and then you've got the grinder over here. So you can take what I was going to say a moment ago, you could take his mulcher to the next fight if you want to. But as I also mentioned, it slows me down, and I just don't care to use it. And here we go. Here's the next path. So you'll want to pick up the ammo and the grenades if you don't have them, and then come on up here. Probably switch to your long shot so that you can zoom in on him and kill him if you need to with that. And of course, there's also going to be this grenadier over here. But the part after this is the one that I was talking about before. It's quite difficult, but I have a good method that hopefully should help you out as much as possible. And I've done it now about at least 3 or 4, probably 4 times. And some of the times that it looked, pretty, some of them look some of the successes look too good. Like people would say, well, this is never going to go as well as it went for you. And, that's just, it's true in some instances, but not in others. But even so, I've done this many times, as I said, at least 4 times, and it's reliable strategy. So hopefully we can get you through that. But we got a fortunate headshot on that fucking Cantus over here, and then we've got guys to clear over here. Some dangerous guys though, because they've got shotguns and they could put you down easily. And these guys have a tendency to rush you too. Even more than a tendency, probably, because every time I do this, they do rush me. So if you want to stick grenades on walls and let them come over to you, they probably will eventually come over to you, but it's kind of awkward to shoot them from here, only because you've got this balcony over here in the way. And I don't necessarily want to go to the head of the stairs over there because if I get rushed, I probably will panic and get shot while I'm running away. So there is that, but just make sure, absolutely sure, that you pick up enough ammunition for what you want. There is the Cantus's weapon over here, so if you want that, I just passed over it. I will be picking up that. And I go up to some pretty ridiculous extremes over here, aiming out of cover, using this. See how, remember, this is a waist-high cover, so you can withdraw from it and aim over the left shoulder out of cover. I was just getting pretty desperate over here to have an advantage, but it didn't work out too well. And I suspect they will try to rush me. Dom can't be depended on, really. You really don't know about whether he's ever going to help out. And he usually just falls and calls for a medic that doesn't exist in this game. But yeah, be careful, because when that grinder comes out, you're not going to get a checkpoint, and if you want to take the grinder, there's no harm of taking it actually, because you can just, if you end up not liking it or needing it, you can just drop it the moment you start the next checkpoint outside, because it's a pretty big fight and it can be pretty rough. But I have a way of smoothing that out for you as much as possible. See, this guy's coming up here now. I've definitely got to get away, because these guys can put you down instantly, even if you're far away from their shotgun or their bolt hawk. It's kind of ridiculous. They should have some restraints on how much they can deal damage to you if you're not, directly near them. But this guy shouldn't be too bad. Just wait for his gun to overheat, take him out, and then of course reconnoiter the environment, and then you'll leave. Make sure every gun is reloaded, of course, all those good things, and then that's the archives, and then we'll do the fight outside of the archives right next. So the first thing you're going to be doing on this part is taking stock of the priorities. So the first priority that you need to take care of is it's either the Cantus or the guy on the turret, whoever appears to you first. The Cantus is he's pretty wily, so he will go from one side of the area to the next. This is the court side outside of the archives. Now we were able to get a headshot on him and put him down. So if he does cause you too much trouble, you can try grenade tagging, because he will come up to you. He does rush, and of course he just needs to be put out of the equation, along with that turret guy. And then for the rest of the enemies that are just standard enemies, they all stay to the left. I don't know why, but it's up to you what you want to do, though. So at a certain point, when nearly all of the enemies are killed, there's going to be a mauler and 2 wretches that come out of that door, as well as the other door on the other side. So whatever you could do to stem the tide of that will help you. And wherever you go is not always necessarily where Dom will go, because he does drift at times. So there really is no way to force Dom to stay in a particular area, because his AI is unpredictable. However, he does tend to stay near you most of the time, or a good deal of the time. So if you stay back at that first area and don't come over here, there's a good chance that he might not drift too much and cause you to come out of cover. But the big thing that you should realize here, and the big takeaway though, is that once you have killed all of the enemies, but either all of the enemies save for that mauler, or any of the drones, everyone except one final drone, or hell, it might even be one last wretch. I'm not really sure if it comes down to wretches, but obviously the wretches need to be killed immediately, because they can be big problems. But do you see the turquoise door up and to the left? That's where a pair of blood mounts spawn at the end of the fight. So it's in your best interest on this fight to leave one enemy alive before you do the following: to get on the turret and then swing it 180 degrees facing those turquoise doors, because once you get on that turret, it's facing to the left. So from where I'm standing now, so you want to face it all the way to the right, so that the instant you kill the last enemy, you can get onto the turret and immediately start firing. Because once you've killed all of the enemies, you don't get much time at all before those blood mounts spawn. And if you want to, you can grenade tag by those doors if you want to help you kill them. But I didn't feel that I could get away with it, because you've got guys with lancers that really cause problems for you. So Dom himself can really be the deciding factor of these fights. So it's kind of sad that when things are going well, he falls down, and he has to be helped. But sometimes you can't get any help to him; it's just not possible. But do you see the situation here? We've got 2 enemies left, so we want to take care that we kill one. What you want to do is you want to kill all but one, so you have the least amount of chance of getting killed when you get on the turret. So you want to get on the turret, swing it like I said over there. Now, with one enemy left kicking around somewhere, it is a bit of a risk to get on the turret and swing it around. But you don't have much time, so you need to be careful. You also need to be aware of the fact that Dom can finish off an enemy. So I think that might have been what happens over here. He finished them off, so I was aware of that. One of the enemies dropped over there, and you need to get on this thing fast. And this really helps out. This can just end the fight really fast. So if you're accurate and you're on them the minute they come out, they shouldn't be too much of a problem for you as far as them slipping through your fingers and getting somewhere where you can't aim the turret at them. Although I think it goes 360 degrees around, but if they get out of your proverbial sight, they're gonna cause Dom to fall. They're gonna get in your face. They're gonna cause all kinds of problems for you. But I've done that a number of times, so even though it might not seem that sort of a clean fight can happen, I mean, it's not clean. It's just that containing the blood mounts makes it look clean, I think. But that is definitely the problem, say from Dom falling down somewhere where you can't reach him, or you just getting killed from something else. But that is it. And then this fight over here is the fight right before you get a split in the path. So you want to pick up the ammunition and the grenades before you get the checkpoint, so you don't have to keep picking them up. And then you're not going to get a checkpoint until the path that you've chosen is completed and you've got to the grinder. We do have that path selection coming up too, and I don't know why I use this gun. It is such a slow gun. I hate this gun, but like I've been saying a couple of times in the walkthrough, I try to switch the weapons for variety's sake. If it was just a little faster, I would like this weapon quite a lot, but as it stands, there's just too much delay in between the clips, being just an overall decent weapon otherwise, but it's just got too much delay. You're standing there completely vulnerable in between the bursts. Yeah, remember to pick up the ammunition over here, and the paths. I would definitely say the paths are fairly even, and there's going to be a point after each path. I think I mentioned this, but after each path, there's going to be a grinder that you have to deal with. So, unlike earlier when we were in the archives and I fought the grinder on each path, it's going to be a little different on this because of the fact that if I do get to the grinder, it's going to checkpoint it, and then I will not be able to reload the checkpoint and get back to the path selection without restarting the chapter. And as it stands, it's a lengthy chapter with a difficult fight in it, so I'd rather not have to restart the entire chapter. So as we always do, I'm going to go on the left path first, and the thing you want to know about if you're starting on the left path, you're going to have a sniper that will kill you almost immediately if you don't move. So you need to move and get behind some sort of cover, because after a few moments, Dom will kill the sniper. I will try to turn the camera over to the right side where you can see the sniper on the second story getting killed by Dom. You'll see some blood when he kills him. So this is the first path here. It's the streets, and as I said, you want to definitely just I would go over to the left. The bench over there is just not enough cover. But if you look on see the second story where that guy's firing, it's a sniper, but I think he's actually he's just got a hammer burst. Yeah, it's not an actual guy with a long shot, but there is a long shot right where he's hovering over a long shot. I think that's why I was thinking he was a sniper, but he's just as deadly as a sniper. And then when you push up and you see that Y prompt, you want to get back where you were or go into this into this area. The nice thing is though, when you do shoot that first gas tank, it will kill every one of those grubs. There's like 4 or 5 of them. Even if there's any grubs hanging around outside, it will kill everybody. So you need to do that for efficiency's sake if you want to get through this real quick. And then when you push forward up here, there's another gas tank that the game will point out to you. Dom is going to push that car down. It's going to give you some cover. You're going to be doing the same thing in a moment, so you'll be familiar with what's going on though. But the moment that I get up a little bit and like the second all the enemies are cleared, I'm gonna be quickly reloading the checkpoint and just getting out of here so that the game doesn't override itself. Because as I say, I don't want to restart the chapter. But up and to the left, there's a couple of guys that come up with grappling hooks. Those are the last guys up there. So you're not going to actually see them come up because they're in the distance there. But when we choose the other path and go in the garage, you'll see them come up because I'm not going to be exiting out so quickly. But I do finish everything over here. I just quickly get out of here so I don't have to get my data overwritten, like I say. Everything is clear though, so we're going to be choosing the garage now, and the first guy that we're going to run at is that aforementioned guy with the hammer burst. So like I say, he's sitting up here with an eye on Dom, so you need to make sure that you kill him quickly. The game is going to give you this Y prompt to point out the fuel cylinder. Dom will take care of that, so you don't need to worry about it. And then when you push forward up here, there's a Scorcher, a couple of Grenadiers. I got a lucky shot on that Scorcher there, although I don't think he blew up too many of his teammates, unfortunately. But you need to be careful though, because obviously those guys with the shotguns can put you down really quickly. And the car right over there where the Y prompt is, you can interact with it or you cannot. It's up to you. And I also wanted to mention on that previous path, if I had gone up a little bit further, there would have been a grinder to deal with. But since, as I say, he's after the checkpoint, I did need to get out of there quickly. So we'll fight him on this path. You'll see exactly what it is. They give you a really nice checkpoint right before he appears. He'll kick down a wall, and you'll have to deal with him. It's well designed though, because it's not gonna cause you any problems if you die, because they're gonna put you right there. So just look around for anything you might need. There's sometimes frag grenades over here, but when you push forward up here, I think the smart thing to do is to equip the grenades and then get behind cover. I was a little bit foolhardy over here because I thought everybody had got cleared. Here's the grapplers, and earlier when I was mentioning that these grapplers, you can shoot the hooks. You can shoot the hooks when they're coming up. I was mistaking that for Gears of War 3. It doesn't appear that you can do that on this game. You can't shoot the grapple hooks. But anyway, this is the checkpoint now, and it's the last checkpoint, but it's really fine at this point because you have the safety of that checkpoint. And then once he's dead though, there's going to be a few more guys to kill. They're going to give you the Hammer of Dawn if you want to make use of that. It's a pretty fun weapon to use. But you're coming at a pretty bad angle over here because enemies are over to the left, so you're gonna have to be careful as you make your way over here. Over to the left is pretty poor cover, especially if you need to have a lot of wind up time for this weapon, which you do with this weapon. And it's just an optional weapon. You don't need to pick this up to do anything specific. but it's nice to be able to, have it and be able to use it, at least for this Reaver. But the wind-up period often can get you killed, so it is nice that we can aim out of our left shoulder over here and put this thing down, but it comes at significant risk. However, you don't have much to lose over here, so it's quite nice. But the thing about this is that once the wind-up period is dead, you can drag the reticle over to the enemies, and that will create a vertical column, which will be a good hitbox that you damage enemies with. And there's just a couple enemies down the street, and then we will be on the penultimate chapter after this. So the campaign is almost dead. It's almost done, and it's a long campaign. I have to say that much. It's taken like 3 months, but then again, I have a lot of other things that I do. I don't just make the walkthroughs. I have another job that I do and other things. So it's been a 3-month affair for sure. And Gears of War Judgment is what I'll be focusing on next if I'm not too worn out from Gears. Because 3 months with any title, it can get pretty dull. I mean, it's not the game that's dull. It's just the monotony of playing something, the same thing over and over and over again for such a long period of time. Anyway, though, penultimate chapter coming up next, and we just need to run over to the next area. The next chapter is pretty short compared to this one, very short compared to this one. But anyway, that has been Free Parking, and I will see you in the next chapter of Act 5. Until then, please take care.